Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the AutoTrends podcast. I'm Holly Hill, and this is John Hill. We're both locals from Greensboro, and we're with AutoTrends. We're glad that we have you here today. Today, we're going to talk about some fuel savings secrets, and I'll let John get us kicked off.
You know, last time this happened several years ago, fuel costs, the pump we shut off at $75. I went today to fill up one of the shop vehicles and it pumped on up there $140, $150 and it didn't want to stop. It would have kept going if the tank had been big enough. And I think one of the things that all of us have recognized is, hey, we got to pay to play, and if we're going anywhere, we're going to have fuel. And I don't know that we know how to save fuel. I just know we all are getting more adept at paying high prices for fuel. And I think there's some things that if you knew that could really help you save some of that money and go do something else. Buy you a TV, go to the beach, whatever on the savings you get. But there's no use paying more than you have to. If you were to read your owner's manual on the car, that car came with a certain viscosity oil, a certain tire pressure, a certain type fuel, and clean filters when it rolled off the assembly line. And the manufacturer has engineers that have went to great lengths to ensure that that vehicle, when it leaves the factory in the manufacturing process, everything is at its optimum level and gives you peak performance. And we all know things wear as you drive them, and the things change, and you have to service it in order to maintain those levels of the original specs. And it's important that you sometimes spend a little time, look through that owner's manual, some of the key things like tire pressure, grade of fuel, viscosity of oil. Might be boring, but at the end of the day, if you get out and you get a facility that's not really knowledgeable to know those things, that you can even get the wrong type tread on a hybrid vehicle today and cut fuel economy 6 to 15% simply because you bought the wrong tires. And don't want to make it too complicated, but you need a relation with some people that are really familiar with the intricacies of what went into that engineer process to make sure that vehicle could deliver with reliable results, the most economical experience you could have. What would be the first thing you did if fuel economy was off? What would you go check?
First thing I would probably check is the tire pressure, like you've always mentioned to me ever since I was little. I remember that was one
Yeah.
of the gifts that you gave me.
And then I said, you need to learn to use this. And you took it and you looked at it. It looked a lot like a pencil, but what'd you do with that? How did it help you?
At first, I didn't understand why that was the gift you chose to give me, but I didn't know it was going to be so important. It was the tire pressure uh,
Gauge.
gauge, but it's very handy to always, make sure you check your tire pressure. You want to keep those filters clean. You'd be surprised at some of the filters I've seen in the shop. Yeah, we've even had some rodents in there. So, and when you take it and you show the customer, they're just in shock. They can't even believe that it looks like that. And nobody has ever even thought for them to check it out until they brought it to the shop and we check the filter and then we present that to them, and that's when they get to see for themselves. There's everything in there, leaves, all kinds of debris. So easy things like that and keeping up with it, it's so beneficial to the fuel economy.
And also a clean car. Believe it or not, the car gets all the debris and all the clutter, the air going over that car. It sounds really minute, but a clean car gets better fuel economy and it makes you feel better too. So think about some of those things. I know fuel costs are up there. It's an impact it has on every one of us. And that car originally was designed at a certain level, a certain specification, and the better you can maintain that and keep things at that level, the better your fuel economy and reliability is going to be from that car. I think back to the most recent example, the person's fuel economy. They'd been several places and people had put in a lot of different components, and it was interesting. We found that the car's temperature was a little too cool for that engine. Most of your cars are there running hotter temperatures, like 195, 205 degrees Fahrenheit. And some of your older cars were in the 160, 180 degree range. And today's cars are so sensitive to the temperature. A cold engine takes more fuel. So if that engine thinks it's cold, it's going to require more fuel. So having someone knowledgeable just to take an infrared thermometer and make sure your radiator is up at the right temperature and that engine's operating its peak. That car is designed for optimum results at a peak temperature, and it's got to be in that range for you to see the economy and the efficiency and the performance that that car can deliver. So remember, there are a lot of little things. Get to a professional. Our shop, we know these little things that we've experienced along the way. We see hybrids come in that they had just regular tires put on. There's a hybrid tire for a hybrid vehicle. And the way the tread, the rolling resistance, the things that you can benefit from, make sure you're going somewhere that knows these little things that can make 10, 15, even 20% difference in fuel economy and get you the 40 and 55 miles an hour to gallons that you can do on some of these cars. But to do that, you've got to have all these things in the right order.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.